Have you ever wondered why the National Guard exists? Not the military in general, specifically the Guard. Why they're in every state. Why governors can activate them. Why they show up for hurricanes, protests, and foreign wars. The surprising truth is that the National Guard isn't just a military force. It's the oldest fighting institution in America, older than the Declaration of Independence, older than the Constitution, and its creation is tied to fear, rebellion, political power, and a centuries-long battle over who controls force in America, Washington, or the states. This is the hidden history of the National Guard, and why it remains one of the most misunderstood institutions in our country today. Most people believe the National Guard is a modern invention, something created in the last 100 years for emergencies and domestic issues. But the truth goes all the way back to 1636, when the Massachusetts Bay Colony formed the first organized militia units in North America. These weren't soldiers in the sense we think of them today. They were farmers, blacksmiths, carpenters, ordinary men who came together once a month for drills to protect their settlements. Why? Because there was no standing army, and colonists feared two things: attacks from outside forces and the rise of a powerful centralized government that could one day control them. This fear is important because it shaped the entire American view of military power. When the colonies declared independence in 1776, the militias fought alongside the Continental Army, forming the backbone of the Revolution. George Washington depended on them, but he also complained about them constantly. They were part-time, often undisciplined, and could simply go home when their enlistment ended. Still, militias represented something the founders valued deeply: local control of force. After the Revolution, America faced a serious problem. The new government needed a military, but many citizens feared that a full-time standing army could become a tool of tyranny. So, the founders created a balance: a small national army and state-controlled militias. This compromise was written directly into the Constitution under the Militia Clause. It gave states the right to maintain their own militias, while allowing Congress to regulate and call them into national service if needed. But there was a loophole no one anticipated. Throughout the 1800s, militias varied wildly from state to state. Some were well-equipped and organized. Others were basically social clubs, men drilling in wool uniforms, drinking, parading, but not ready for real combat. This became a national embarrassment during the Spanish-American War in 1898. When states tried to send their militia units overseas, many failed federal standards. The U.S. realized it needed a unified, trained reserve force, not just scattered militias. So in 1903, Congress passed the Dick Act, officially transforming state militias into the modern National Guard. This law created dual control. States could activate them for emergencies, but the federal government could also deploy them for national missions. It was a turning point, one that quietly shifted military power toward Washington. But the biggest change came with World War I. The National Guard fought as nearly half of the American combat force. Their performance was so strong that the government expanded federal control even further with the National Defense Act of 1916. From that point forward, Guard units became fully integrated into America's war machine, while still being tied to each state. This dual identity, local and federal, has created some of the most confusing moments in American history. For example, during the Civil Rights Movement in the 1950s and 60s, one of the most dramatic confrontations happened when a state governor and the U.S. president used the National Guard against each other. In 1957, Arkansas Governor Orville Faubus activated the Guard to block black students from entering Little Rock Central High School. President Eisenhower responded by federalizing the Guard, instantly taking control away from the governor. The same soldiers who had been blocking the doors were now ordered to escort the students inside. This moment revealed the National Guard's unique role in American power. It can be a tool of the states or a tool of the federal government, depending on who takes control. That same dual nature is why the Guard also appears during natural disasters, riots, and even pandemics. Governors can activate them for hurricanes, floods, or unrest. Because unlike active duty troops, the Guard can operate inside U.S. borders without violating the Posse Comitatus Act. But the Guard is not just a domestic force. After 9/11, the National Guard experienced one of the largest deployments in its history. Guard units were sent to Iraq, Afghanistan, and dozens of overseas missions. Many soldiers who signed up expecting to help within their state suddenly found themselves in war zones thousands of miles away. It was a historic shift, from part-time citizen soldiers to full partners in America's global military operations. The hidden truth is this: the National Guard has become one of the most flexible and powerful tools in the U.S. defense system. It can fight wars abroad, it can handle emergencies at home, it can be controlled by governors, it can be taken over by the president. And all of this comes from a system created centuries ago by colonists who could never have imagined the world we live in today. What makes the Guard so embedded in American culture is that it represents the idea of the citizen quadrigue soldier. Someone with a normal life, a job, a family, who can still step up to defend their community or their country. It is the oldest military institution in America, and yet one of the most modern, and its future is changing again. As climate disasters increase, global tensions rise, and technology transforms warfare, the National Guard is being asked to do more than ever before. Cyber defense, space operations, drone warfare. These responsibilities are becoming part of the Guard's mission. The force that began with muskets in a Massachusetts field is now helping defend satellites in orbit. The National Guard's story isn't just about history, it's about how America chooses to balance power between its people, its states, and its federal government. And that delicate balance continues to evolve with every crisis, every war, and every moment the Guard is called to serve. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden history of America's National Guard and want more content that exposes the stories behind everyday American life, make sure you like the video, comment what topic you want next, and subscribe. Your support helps us uncover more hidden histories. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.